AITA, my parents are demanding that I still do all of my chores, even though I no longer live at home. So I, 18F, am a college student who started living in the dorms. While I still sometimes go home to do laundry, I am rarely home. I haven't been home in 3 weeks. The main reason I live in the dorms is because I don't yet have my license. I have an auditory delay that makes it hard for me to react to any noise, and it's something I've struggled with for my whole life. My parents and I don't always see eye to eye, and during my senior year we got into a major argument and they told me, fine, you want to be an adult, you're living in the dorms, and let's see how you feel when you don't have us to clean up after you. They pay for my dorm, however most of my tuition is covered by scholarships, and I have full coverage all the way up until my doctorate. They chose to pay for dorm living. I told them I had a plan to make it to class, but they wanted to teach me a lesson. So back to my story. When I first came home, I noticed that the internet was blocked on my devices when I went to take a test. This had only ever happened if I didn't do my chores or we got into an argument. When I asked them why it was blocked, they told me it was because I hadn't done my chores. These were my weekly chores, every week. Clean bathroom. Yard work, clear the whole backyard of any leaves, sticks, rocks, they are very strict about this. Clean the downstairs cabinets. Dust every surface of the house, including fans. Clean the laundry room, includes mopping, dusting, sweeping, etc. Empty the dishwasher and drainer. Clean the kitchen. I have a brother who I used to share the bathroom with who lives at home. He's also a freshman in college, and recently we got into an argument about the chores. Chores are due every Friday by 7 p.m., I get home at around 2 or 5 p.m., dinner is at 5:30 to 6 p.m. Meaning I have to do about 3 hours of work in an hour. Family dinners are mandatory and I will be punished if I don't eat with them. I asked for an extension to 8:30 so I could actually do the chores, and they said it was the expectation of their support. I have no issues helping around the house, I really don't, but it hurts when I'm constantly told I have to give up my dream of starting my own business because of you. Or we have to love you, we don't have to support you financially, your friends won't be there if we cut you off and threw you out. Only family will, only we will, and when I just don't have the time to finish all that work and my own school work, I get blamed. I just can't help but feel bitter about the whole situation. I get they need help, I really do, but I guess I just wish they didn't blame me for all their problems just because I had the nerve to be born. And I got in trouble with them because I did the full dishwasher and went up to go do HW, and they yelled at me because I left some for my brother. When my older brother had a similar living situation, they didn't make him do anything. Of course he helped, but it wasn't a threat or shaming him for being born. Get it, I also have weekend assignments, so if I don't do my chores, I don't get internet connection for the whole weekend. If I sleep in and miss church, I don't get internet connection. Since apparently I've been very confusing, here's the timeline of events. I go to school, then I go home on Fridays, last time was 3 weeks ago. So the whole time before that I've been going home to do laundry. 3 weeks ago, my parents dropped me off early because of a fight, and told me they didn't want to see my face. And this week I was expected to come home. We were talking on the phone and I asked if I could stay this weekend because I didn't want to be a bother and had an in-person exam this Friday. They got upset because they had expected me to come home and now they have to plan around me not being there to clean up. Now I've made this post. I should clarify I'm Hispanic and just saying no isn't usually an option. Like I've said before, I have no problem with doing the chores, it's how their language and attitudes towards any mistakes or wrenches Eve apparently thrown in the plans they didn't tell me about. This isn't something that's exclusive to Hispanic PPL, I didn't explain it properly. Where I grew up and how I grew up, but my family is Hispanic and heavily Catholic, meaning they tend to have more conservative values. My parents have even said it doesn't matter if our values are toxic or go against whatever beliefs you have, they are the values of this house and family. I'm probably not explaining this right, but my main point is, they values the respect of family and especially elders. Get it too, I do want the people reading this to know I am very aware that I am extremely privileged to have parents who pay for me to live in the dorms, no matter the reason. That fact is not lost on me. I'm so sorry if this is confusing, it's like 2 a.m. and I've been up late working on a project due at 10 a.m. So my bad if my writing comes off as disjointed and messy. Edit 3, thank you all for your advice. I'm going to be honest and say it doesn't feel all too nice when you're told that you're making something up because there's no way anyone could possibly be going through that. And it's hard not to take some of those comments to heart. I made this post at 12 a.m. after a long call with my parents that ended very badly. I was upset and frustrated, and I'm sorry if I came across as rude or an attention seeker. I can promise you that this is very much my life. And I want to be clear one last time, when your whole life is reliant on someone else, saying no becomes the scariest thing. You don't think I've tried to stand up for myself? Or figure a way out? Then last time I tried to stand up for myself, they put me in the psychiatric hospital, then in a Catholic group home. Saying no carries a lot of significant cultural weight, at least in my case. And what may be an option for you, isn't an option for me. I've applied to countless jobs within walking distance, my bike got stolen, and I've either been rejected or flat out ignored. I've already made plans with my friend to find a place close by. Once we both have jobs, we plan to get a loan out to at least try and make ends meet. I don't claim to speak for every Hispanic culture, but at least in mine, Puerto Rican, saying no, and standing up for yourself can get you disowned. I've walked out of the house after a fight, and they've locked me out. Saying no is easier said than done. There's nothing I can say to convince some people, and that's fine. But I do kindly ask that the next time you see someone who's struggling on here, don't immediately dismiss them just because you can't see their situation happening. Or because you think it's impossible for someone like me to have obtained the coverage I did. It was not easy. I spent the entirety of my senior year trying to get my application approved. And while you may not believe that I'm smart enough because of the situation I'm in, believe me, I am very much aware of my parents' favoritism and toxic values/behavior. Please like the video and subscribe for more AITA stories.